Good morning and welcome back to Spidz YouTube. We're gonna try something a little bit different this time. I've got a webcam on. I don't know if I'll keep it like this, but this is what we're trying today. We're gonna be going over our Aegis sets for today. So we are going to be doing the regular VOD review stuff as I used to do many, many moons ago. Uh, we're on Prism's team this time. It's sort of like remnants of old PCP, except it's got Prism, Sleepy Panda, Tie Guy, and I. And it's just an 8-team Aegis draft. There was a draft Aegis League, like regular Aegis League. There was a draft thing a couple days ago where people were drafted. I was on Shardox's team for a little while, and then Shardox and Prism did a little bit of a trade, which may or may not have been collusion, but it's fine. I'm on the PCP team. Basically, it's basically PCP, right? There's two PCP members. I was tipping up PCP last season. Ty Guy and Prism are very good friends. It's basically just a PCP team. What you've got in front of you is our lineups that we were deciding through. We were on like these for a long time, and then I was like pretty keen on stuff of this ilk, so we tried going down. There's a lot of lineups we tried. I'm sort of just showing this because it's a spreadsheet, and I like making spreadsheets, and this was a spreadsheet that I made. But we ended up deciding on this lineup down here because most of us ended up quite liking it. I think this lineup does well into quite a lot of things. We've got Somerset Freljord, Shen J4, and Ashe LeBlanc being doubled between Sleepy and I. And the point of this lineup really is to like target a lot of the target two decks basically. Target Darius Nar and target Jax Ornn. The other lineup that I was pretty keen on was lineup number 3. The idea was that we're trying to beat on Janna, basically with our reading into what our enemy gamers were, and we'll see who they are in a bit. The thinking was that they were either going to be on Freljord stuff, right? Like pretty reliably, most of the enemies would have at least 2 Freljord decks or 2 players with Freljord decks, which means that this lineup would like 2-1 them every time. Or they would have 2 Janna decks like Neela Janna, and this would in theory 2-0 them every time or 2-1 them every time, although we would be playing mirrors a lot with these decks. That was the theory. We ended up going with this because we had, we have double first pick, which meant that like if we can reliably go 2-1 this week, we have 2 first picks and 1 not first pick, then this will work out better. I should probably explain how the Aegis format works if you're like new. Basically, you create a lineup with 3 of your players, and you can only double up on a deck twice. And you fight every team twice in a bit of a round robin. Sometimes you get the first pick, which means, let's say we put Tie Guy into MTuck, then they get to pick out of their last 2 players who goes into Sleepy Panda, who goes into Spidz. And so by having double first pick means that we can sort of set up a lineup where we have like an A and a 2B. And that lineup allows us to pick our A into whatever we want and pretty much guarantee what the Bs are anyway, because the Bs are the same, right? So no matter what, we can guarantee our Bs, but it means that when we're our second pick, they're going to have a lot more freedom deciding like a very positive matchup or a very positive matchup and then 2 negative matchups in theory, right? Let's quickly go to what ended up being, once I figure out how to turn off this thing. Thank you. This ended up being the lineups that were brought, and we got exactly what we wanted, right? So all we wanted for us to be able to beat an enemy gamer is to 2-1 Maokai Saplings and Misfortune's Powder Monkeys, which whom we had first pick into. And the logic was that since, I'm anti-Freljord, Sleepy's anti-Freljord, all we need to do is make sure that 2 enemy gamers in both of these have Freljord decks. And then we had Jax Ornn, Darius Nar, Jax Ornn, Jax Ornn. And that meant that as long as we put in Tie Guy into MTuck and Tie Guy into YREB, we will have at least Sleepy and I have positive matchups throughout the entire board, right? If we go, 3-0, that's fantastic. Tie Guy isn't going to have the worst time in the world. It won't be easy, but it won't be too difficult. They've got a lot of anti-Jax Ornn stuff themselves, right? But it's still possible to beat them as Tie Guy. But it also means that, like, in theory, Sleepy and I need to pull our weight. Then there's Zoe Celestials, who would be able to first pick into us. We get to first pick into them next week, and they have a much better time. We were expecting something along the lines of Never Walk Alone into Tie Guy, because both Spidz and Sleepy Panda sort of struggle into Annie Jin plus Jenny Nilla cores, or Annie Jin plus, like, mid-range cores. Because they don't have, like, the obvious stuff we're trying to defeat, but it would be possible for us to defeat them. It's not an impossibility. Anyway, this is all you really need to know before we get into the games. Today we'll have our first VOD review versus Donut, and I've actually got Donut along with me this time, which is very nice. I think it's very good to have the person that you're playing against in your VOD review, especially for something that is this VOD review where my decisions are very much largely irrelevant. Donut ends up having a lot more of the interesting decision points to make, and the way Donut explains through I've already recorded this, by the way. The way that Donut explains through stuff like his plays with scouts and his play with Jax Ornn is very interesting to listen to. And I think it'll improve primarily how you play those decks, less so how you play my decks. My decks, they're very simple when fighting these decks in particular. But I hope you enjoy it, and if you've got any thoughts, let me know. And as always, like, writing a response is going to be better than just hitting a like button. Like, I don't care if you hit a like button, but if you've got like a written response on if you like the camera format or not, or if having Donut is like a boon or a not boon or anything like that, let me know. But hopefully you enjoy, and I'll see you tomorrow for the one where I fight Monty. Okay, we are going to be VOD reviewing our set with Donut, and I am joined by Donut. By the way, I didn't tell you that I started recording, but hey, I'm joined by Donut. Do you want to say hi?
Hey guys, it's me. If you're an OG Spidz fan, you'll remember me from our World's VOD review.
Yeah, back during like, is it just the one time with Worlds, or did we do it another time after that?
I
I
think
should
it was
stream, by the way.
just that one time. I think you've mostly just had Jan Sports. Yeah, I can't see your
Yeah.
screen just yet, but
Okay, can you see it
okay.
now? Does this work for you?
Yes, I can see it. You're
Okay.
good.
So we're gonna go through our games from Aegis. My lineup was very favored into yours because I was on Ashe, LeBlanc, Sett, and Shenzhen 4, and you were on Scouts, Jax Ornn, and whatever the hell I banned. Jananilla.
Janila. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shen J4 and Ashe LeBlanc are possibly my most hated decks.
Mm,
Um, I don't ever beat them. That's my teammates' jobs. But then I got put into you, so
yeah. And I mean, like,
um,
our team
so the
having double
set was
first
my
pick made
out.
this work, right? Like, I kind of think we could do this if we weren't
Yeah,
first pick.
I think your team had the most advantageous first pick. We also had double first pick, but both of the teams we were first pick into had second pick, like double second pick. So they
Right.
build their lineup to be best in that situation, whereas you are first pick into us, and we're building our lineups under the assumption that we are first picking, right? So we're
Yeah.
more vulnerable to being second pick.
That's fair. Like, Aegis is a little bit lopsided because I think that's been the case for the last few seasons, right?
Yeah, there's always some little amount of lopsidedness there, but I mean, you still have to play a game. Like, even though you're very
Mm.
favored into me, I had pretty real winning outs in
And
some of
pretty,
the games. So like,
yeah.
um, and you have to do something like that unless you want to play 900 games to remove all variants and wants
Mm.
to do that. So,
All right. Are you ready to go through the games?
yep,
Do you want one times or one times 5 speed? Have any preference?
I'm a 2x speed enjoyer,
You're
so
gonna go
1.5.
2x?
Well,
We
in my personal life, I 2x every video I watch, but the YouTube watchers might prefer 1.5 speed
All
so
right.
that they can then 2x it themselves, you know?
Yeah. Okay. That's the right button.
Alright, good morning and welcome back to Spidz YouTube. Today we're fighting Donut. I need to open up this deck list very quickly, but I am banning Jananilla and I'm trying to beat Jax Ornn 2-0 is the desire. Now, I expect to go 2-1 because they're going to play Scooty McBooty into me, I'm almost certain. But let's get up Ashe LeBlanc, Sett for real. Do I have
Just double check. You can hear it, right? You got.
Yeah, I can hear it. I
Okay.
can hear your commentary.
Yeah.
Sharima?
It's funny.
Yeah.
Is the
Sorry,
1.5 speed Spids commentary going to be part of the video?
It will probably end up being in it. Yeah.
That's
At the speed. Yeah. I think it's pretty funny to have it just sped up.
I have to do this. This is very important. Where is Freljord? Freljord.
I imported the decks because I wanted to make sure
And
the
then
lineups were the same. I think one of the decks was actually
Yeah.
different,
This is really important, Donut.
so I'm glad I did that.
Alright, let's play the
That
video.
Freljord card back is probably why
I'll
I
see if I can
lost.
get
That
Donut
was
with me,
important.
but he is right in these unfavorite matchups. Alright, I'm banning Jananilla. Okay, I have the deck list open on the
Did you
alt
know
tab.
Jana
Let's play
Nila did
Jananilla,
not
Jax
lose a
Ornn.
game today
Really? Not for
for
a single.
anyone?
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it had like a 65% ban rate, 100% win rate. Just a crazy deck.
That's kind of insane. Okay, interesting.
Another fun fact, my team was the only team to win a single game with scouts.
Yeah, no, I did see that. Yeah.
That's a little crazy.
Harsh winds or bellow breath. Okay, let's start. Oh, thank God they banned this. That's the one I was actually scared of to play. Alright, let's start.
Why'd you ban Shinji for, may I ask? Do you think it's actually just the
I
best
think
deck into your set?
Scouts has the best chance into Ashe LeBlanc.
Okay.
Mostly I trust Mtux. Like Mtux actually plays all of the decks you're on. That was
Mm.
his lineup, I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he
yeah.
said I should ban Shen J4, so I
Interesting.
did.
Good.
Um,
I thought it was the one deck you should keep up, to be honest, because think you're trying to like get Jax on through, and I think Jax on has the easiest time against Shen J4.
I don't think the stats say that. I think my best chance is into Karma with Jaxorn. I think
Really?
my good Jax hands have like very real odds of beating you.
No, that's fair. Yeah, like as Karma said, all I'm trying to do is beat your Jax hands. I don't really have to care about your on hands. But I was thinking like this has like the highest rate of like just failing on itself because you don't draw Shen or you don't draw Kinky Student, right? While this like I think has a less big chance of falling on itself, at least in my experience.
Yeah, I think that both Ashe and Shen J4 can beat good Jax hands, which is
Right.
what I have to play for in bad matchups. So I think I have to ban one of those. I think I'm always leaving Karma up.
Interesting. Okay.
Um, but it's definitely possible I should beat or I should ban Ashe LeBlanc. I scrimmed it like 2 times before we played and
Mm.
lost both times to LeBlanc into Ashe, and then I don't want to spoil anything, but
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Start with Karma Sett Freljord. And they're starting with Scooty McBooty, which I guess makes sense. I guess I should have started with Ashe LeBlanc, because they're always starting with Scooty McBooty. So, yeah, okay. Scouts list. I haven't practiced against this at all. CS, Sergeant, okay. Cryo Phoenix seems kind of okay, actually. I feel like Sett might be good, but also, like, I've got token on 5. There's a chance I want to Cryo Phoenix them. Just depends what they've got. I think I'm going to keep Cryo Phoenix, because I feel like it's one of the ways
this
I'm going to try and win
mulligan
this matchup.
makes sense to me. You're
Yeah.
keeping the good cards in the matchup. Like,
I don't think that mulligan was too complicated. I don't think anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go back like half a second. This sucks and this sucks, right? I just need units. Like, I think like even Omenhawk and Portal Pioneer are better than these cards. Just as
yeah,
like
units
bait
are,
blockers.
are great in the matchup. Just they trade early.
I don't know
Um,
about this. Like, it feels important, but a lot of your
You're
hands
only
will
on
allow
2 of
it to
them,
not work.
and I think you should keep it. It deals with most of my like early game threatening units, and I'm often trying to set up for and threaten champion strength and for Demacia, and you holding that just like even just threatening it, I have to play around it constantly, and then I'm good enough where if I can't beat it, I'll just play into it and lose to it.
Mm.
Against other people, like if they're just gonna play around it the whole game anyways, maybe you can mull it, but
Yeah,
I think you need it in case I can't beat it and play into it.
that's fair. It's one of the cards that like I have a 50% chance of just winning based on this card alone. Obviously, it doesn't happen this game, but I think that's a good way of seeing it.
So, like, I've got token on 5. There's a chance I want to Cryo Phoenix them. Just depends what they've got. I think I'm going to keep Cryo Phoenix, because I feel like it's one of the ways I'm going to try and win this matchup. I think it might be win to touch on 3.
But it kills just like half of my deck.
Hmm.
So
Can I
there's a lot of hands where I can't deal with it. I'm only on 2 of the buff spell.
Yeah.
I drew both this game, which made it pretty good for me.
Yeah.
So they don't have Badger. Hold on. They don't have Badger there, and they don't have Scrutinizing Sergeant, and they don't have Vanguard Sergeant. Is this knowledge that I can use? That means what? High chance of MF, high chance of spells. No 2-drop. They would have played Mirror Ward on there. I mean, I know Donut. If he saw CS, he kept it. That's how Donut works. Like, if I could tell you like 2 facts about Donut. One of them is that he was in Worlds. The other one is that if he saw CS or Watchful Idol, he kept them. That's what Donut does. Okay, so we top deck Badger there because we didn't have that earlier, which means we still don't know what these are. I mean, presumably CS, presumably.
I might actually mulligan CS in this matchup.
Really?
The fast speed Spidz is saying I would keep it, but because of the current, like because of the token
Okay.
and the fact that you play deny, CS is a pretty awkward card. Now that they've nerfed CS, you always want to play it off token.
Yeah.
So I have to either play it on turn 5 or turn 7, and it's really still best on turn 6.
Right.
You're not usually wide enough on turn 5 that CS is a good play.
Interesting.
I'm much more interested in a Vanguard Sergeant game because it's better into deny, and I can play it on a turn 6 attack very reasonably.
Interesting. Okay. That's very, very cool. I would have definitely just assumed you took CS, but okay.
Yeah,
No, that
I
makes
might
sense to
still
me.
keep it if I have a great hand, but
Hmm.
I think people have a very wrong opinion of Scouts and like what it relies on. It's just a very flexible combo deck. You're playing like almost 10 buff spells if you count the 5 drops tutoring your Vanguard Sergeants.
Hmm.
And so you have a lot of different game plans to buff your wide board. You don't just need CS to win, especially after they toned it down. Like, For Demacia is often a better card than Champion Strength in this deck.
Interesting. Okay, that's very cool to know. Alright.
Maybe a Genevieve. Navi. Blocking with Sett would put me into form-up range unless I just block Navi.
This
So give me a line where
spell
I'm playing
shield
Sett and
unit
block-
felt very good to hit.
No, I was very
happy.
upset at this spell shield unit. It does like 10 damage over the course of the whole game, man. It's very irritating.
Yeah, crazy hit.
Yeah.
I'm just Navi, and if I'm just not blocking Badger Bear, because they kind of have a kill set. Okay. If they've got Inspiring Light, yeah, okay.
Was I ever supposed to just do Conk? There's like no way that Conk is the right play here, right?
Passive bomb?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I think I just hit like a very strong hand. Like the fact that I'm capable of playing around Cryo Phoenix. I actually had a misfortune this game that I didn't play on 3 because I
Yeah.
was worried about Cryo Phoenix.
I was talking with Sleepy Bunda a few days ago, and both of us really, really like scouts, and both of us have memories of games where we don't play MF on 3 and we win because of it. I think that's one of the coolest things you can do as scouts is not play MF on 3 and instead do boards like this. So it's cool that you had MF and didn't play it.
Yeah. That goes back to just people fundamentally misunderstanding what Scouts does.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of why like my team got wins with it when other teams maybe didn't, is like it has good stats, people see it as a very easy deck and then they play it and lose.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that actually happens when you play Scouts. You have to really think through your lines. So
Yeah. No, and this was extremely scary.
I think the plan then is probably to block Porifly if they let me.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
not,
think
maybe it's just blocking Navi.
hitting the spell shield meant that I actually didn't have to not play MF, but like if I had any other 1-drop, then Wings of the Cryo Phoenix wipes my board if I play MF.
Yeah.
And I just push 4 damage this turn. So the Badger Bear is just way better.
Huh. Block Navi, and then I guess I pull Navi next turn, and then other than that I'm just taking a bajillion damage. That seems like the line to me. This blocks 3, this blocks 4.
A little
But I do want to kill Navi. I
strange
think I'm
to
supposed to
me.
block Navi.
I'm not sure what. I'm not sure that you did something wrong. It's just a
It just sucks. It just
odd.
looks like I should be doing better than
It's
I
just a
am. Yeah.
really bad spot for you, mostly.
Yeah. Because I need this to be lower to try and like set up Cryo Phoenixes, but like Sett's gonna die anyway, and that's still not a great position for me to be in because if I Cryo Phoenix, it still stays alive. I can't. It just sucks. Nothing's good.
I wonder if you're ever supposed to just not recall Sett and let him die. Like you block my 3/5, you block my Badger Bear, and you Cryo Phoenix and pray.
Yeah, I think I had considered that. Wait, I've got 5 mana, not 6, right? I can't Cryo next turn.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, no, the
it's
thing gets a little bit
rough.
blurry on this.
And then just take the bajillion damage.
Yeah.
Alternatively, I could just tag out my Sett. Am I taking this? Am I taking this and doing cryo? Sorry, am I blocking Badger and doing cryo? Maybe that's the line. If I do this and then do cryo next turn. But they've got the fucking Porifly.
I'm so upset at the Porifly.
You block that.
I pull
Like
back the Sett.
yeah, the Porifly is crazy with
They're
the
not challenging
Cryo
this.
next turn
So
playing.
I pull something with Sett. Then I get to block with him
And
again
the
turn after,
problem
but I'm
is,
not
like,
doing it.
I'm not gonna develop into you if you pass to me, so you have
Yeah.
to cryo and then hope my 5 mana doesn't kill you, which is
Yeah.
pretty hard. You go for that line.
I think that's the best play. Which means I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't practice this matchup, so I don't have any like stake in it. I'm purely relying on Jack's on. Here's Sett. There's a chance I should have been more aggressive with cryo. If they pass, there's a good chance I'm passing back. Yeah, I feel like doing Conk and Smooth Mixer is better. Unless they've got
My hand at this point, I think, is Quinn, Misfortune, Inspiring. No, I top deck Inspiring Light next turn. Currently, I have Quinn, Misfortune, maybe 2 Misfortunes in my hand, and maybe a form up. If I'm
Okay.
remembering right.
Right. From memory, I'm just debating, like, if I attack, I let you do MF, and it's the same, like, 8 mana for 2 + 6 is champion strength, so it doesn't really matter. You should have champion strength at this point, right, as well.
Oh yeah, I do have Champion Strength.
Yeah.
That's probably the last card.
I don't know what the
so
right
I think
play is here. I think
Passing
passing
here
might be better.
was good. Uh, maybe it's hard for you to know what I'm like developing.
Mm.
That's why I passed to you. I felt like you had to make the set attack,
Mm.
and that if you didn't, I was like pretty okay with it.
Yeah.
I think because what I do next turn is I play Quinn holding form up and uh it might have just been form up. Like I said, I don't think I had the inspiring light here.
Mm.
Maybe I did. But then if you play Wings of the Cryo Phoenix, which is basically your only out, I still have like a very threatening board. I still have my 5/1 Badger Bear, and I have 2 scout units. And because you're at 8 life, you're just kind of dead
Yeah.
still. If you tap out into that. So
Yeah, I don't think anything's really happening on mine. I don't think I have any line that gets me too close. I don't think.
yeah, I like the attack because at least like if I have nothing,
Yeah.
you have the chance. Right?
Yeah, no, if they have CS,
I don't know if I have
if they've got, yeah, if they've got CS,
triple
I wouldn't just
champion
ignore
strength
it. Like, if
and
they're spending, like, blocking Badger Bear
what
mana,
else
it's
sucks
pretty much
here?
good.
It's hard to even think of what hand I could have that you could beat.
Yeah. It's a really fucked position.
Distant to attack. Not necessarily.
Yeah, that
It's not inconsistent
I
to
mean the Scout Porofly, Inspiring Light, and
Mm.
just like a
Attacking
hand
forces
that
them to play, like,
lines
a
up well
Badger
into
Bear.
Cryo
If they're
Phoenix,
unlikely
make
to
it
play
just
Badger Bear,
really
I don't
tough for you.
Mm.
My instinct is that I'm supposed to attack. Because if they spend a lot of mana, they're not CSing, and if they don't spend a lot of mana, then attacking feels equidistant, but I don't think I believe that. I think what I'm doing is a misplay, but it's very easy for me to do it, so I'm doing it. If they have Mirai Water, I don't think there's any reason for them not to have played it. If it's a 2-unit develop like an Island Navigator, then they're not CSing. My thinking time probably has them realizing that I don't have Deny. Or All-Seeing Oracle. The fact that I had a lot of thinking time probably informs them of that. It's probably deciding between
Yeah,
Queen
so
and
here
CS.
I'm just thinking about MF versus Quinn,
Yeah.
and I think I end on MF with the logic of like I can just play Quinn next turn and then buff because if you board wipe me, you still just die.
Mm.
Now that that's taken damage.
Yeah.
I think really what I was thinking about is whether I Inspiring Light this turn if I MF, and that was my conclusion is no, I don't have to. She can die and you still just explode
Yeah.
the Quinn. So
Or MF, okay. So he can afford CS, he cannot afford CS. That's okay by me. I'm willing to sacrifice Sett into something and then do like a Harsh Winds. I think. Mysticism. Quinn. Alright, so Cryo Phoenix is not Poggers. I think I'm playing Conk. If I do Conk and they just like full open, am I dead? Yeah, Conk into like full open is lethal. Unless I palm this maybe. I think I'm just mega boned. Harsh Winds is not going to be enough. I think Mixo is the right play and hope that they misplay, but Donut's not going to misplay. But I can't win via Cryo. I can't win via Harsh Winds. I need to win via... I think I need to win via Mixo... Via Conk into Mixo. And hope that they misplay. And I think I'm dead. I don't think I've got a chance, man.
here
I don't think I probably should have stunned Valor.
I rope out this whole next action thinking about Mixo, and then you go to 1 instead of 0 because I mathed wrong.
Right. Okay. Because remember, you just do the
Um,
scout attack. You don't do a full attack, and a full attack is
Yeah, I do the scout
deterministic
attack.
lethal. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mathed wrong. I was like, oh, the open is deterministic lethal, or the scout attack is deterministic because Mixo isn't keeping you alive.
Yeah.
I think I double counted or triple counted MF ping.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
I counted it wrong.
Mm.
And I assumed you were going to exactly 0 if you played it, so I took the scout attack.
Yeah.
But I really don't think it matters. I think I'm
But-
just mega boned.
And when you find it deterministic lethal, you don't like
Yeah,
look
no.
at the other lines to see if they're also lethal, right? You just play it.
Yeah, I know when
But-
I backseat a lot of people, I'm like, this is deterministic lethal, and they're like, no, this is deterministic lethal. And we're both arguing about two different deterministic lethals because both of us just stop once we see our first one.
Yeah.
So I sort of get it.
Okay.
But yeah, I forget
No, I
where
can't really say
exactly
with
I
the,
did my math
qualifying
wrong. I'm sure it's just missing a misfortune ping.
Hmm.
I think
Oh.
Donut played well by playing for Inspiring Light. It meant that Cryo Phoenix was heavily disvalued. I probably needed early units, but I think this matchup's supposed to be favored for Donut, I think. I don't think that's too surprising. If I do Mixo, can I survive? Actually, if I do Mixo, I might survive. Hold on. I was
I
planning on
thought
doing
you'd be
Scout
at 9 here,
Hmm.
and then I do 8 plus 8 plus, or 4 plus 4, which is 8 plus 1. It's lethal.
Yeah.
So you played exactly the card I thought you would, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh shoot.
I
Not
think I need
good.
to do Mixo to give myself a chance. Because I can block Badger there, and I'm only
But
taking...
yeah, I
I'm only
have,
taking
I
9
think
damage
at this
fight.
point, both misfortune and
I'll be okay.
champion strength in my hand, so the
Yeah.
misplay is not very costly.
Alright, so what's the line? They can't have CS. I need to find second set, like right now. Okay. I probably should have played coin. That way they don't want to play CS, but I don't have deny anyway. Maybe
Yeah. So I thought I misplayed like a lot here. If I play coin, you can't play CS because I obviously have deny mana. Obviously now I know you had misfortune to make it rain, so it's a little bit. Obviously it doesn't matter at all. But from my perspective, I definitely should have played coin before I played Sett. I was just very excited because I drew the card that I said I needed to draw.
Yeah. It's definitely better if you play coin, but if I have to play CS to win, I'm gonna play it and make
Yeah.
you deny, and then open for value. But
Yeah. I mean, so
so it's not likely that the bluff is good, but
your hand
yeah.
would have to be triple CS plus like a 2/2 or something for you not to have lethal here, right?
yeah, it would have to be very bad.
Actually, if you have
Like-
a 2/2, it's still lethal, right? I harsh winds this and this. I block this. I also need a top deck a conk or another harsh winds, in addition.
Yeah, you need some outs for sure. So
Yeah.
it's just a rough matchup, and I drew pretty well.
Mm.
But I also I think Scouts does a thing where if you play perfectly, it's very good, and if you ever make a mistake, you lose.
Mm.
And so that you don't get a ton of agency when you're against Scouts. You just have to punish my mistakes, and I didn't let you Cryo Phoenix me, so
Yeah.
you didn't have an opportunity to punish very hard.
Yeah. I think you played this really well. In terms of playing around what I needed to play around, and I don't think my draws would have ever given me enough outs into a draw like this. But I think it's a good showing of how to do scouts into like a Karma Sett-esque deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think this was like a interesting, good game to learn from if you're interested
Yeah.
in Scouts.
Yeah, it's kind of like an ideal game from your perspective, or an ideal game in how you're supposed to do certain plays.
Yeah. Yeah, the
If I play
Badger Bear on 3 is very cool.
Yeah.
coin, they wouldn't have played CS.
And Island
So I
Navi
did
on 4.
misplay. But I can't...
Yeah, it's so tempting
Maybe
when
I
you
should
have
have won.
Navigator on 4 with token to
Mm.
go for that. But
Yeah.
the MF level isn't what's important here.
No, they just rip CS, right? They make me spend my mana, and then they open anyway. But I do have harsh ones. Nah, okay, I actually could have
Oh
won
yeah, I
that.
was
That's crazy.
wondering
If I
why
do
you were
coin, they might be
roping
scared out
here,
of it.
but you're just working out the
Yeah, I was working out if I could
Mhm.
have won. Yeah.
CS.
yeah.
Huh. That's cute, but unfortunately, I didn't. Because if they do CS, I still get to kill Miss MF. Then I harsh wins the 2 units, I block 1.
But yeah, I
I
think
stay
I
at 1 health. But the
am
thing...
developing a unit and make it raining this turn if you coin.
Yeah.
With the make it rain forcing your deny out, and then
Mm.
the units being whatever.
Mm.
And then I open into CS
Yeah.
after.
No,
So-
you've got like a lethal in like a million ways.
Yeah.
thing is, unless their hand is double CS, they have another unit. And them having another unit is also lethal, unless I top deck something. But okay, I actually could have won that. That's really, really cute. That's probably something I should have scrimped if I wanted to try and win that. But I didn't. Let's hopefully not lose to Jax on, is the hope. Hopefully I can find my way to win.
I did a
But
lot
could
of
have won that, and
scrims
that's very, very
into Seraphine,
Mm.
like the Seraphine Ionia Temple deck. So I felt somewhat comfortable in this matchup, but
Right.
you play a few more harsh winds, like big attack stoppers,
Yeah.
than that deck.
Yeah, but I don't have any of like
Um,
the Mystic Shot removal, right? Like that's literally just the difference between P and Z and Freljord.
Yeah, I don't think that like the removal is very good because I'm playing a lot of protection.
Okay.
So I definitely think that this is a slightly better matchup for you,
Hmm.
but uh, I'm used to playing against like a set deck that wins the late game if I don't kill them. So I
Hmm.
felt very comfortable in my like decision making.
Okay.
Um,
Uh,
How am I beating
I
Jax?
think
I
my
feel like
mulligan is just removing
so
this
my
from
notes
memory.
for this matchup is early units are pretty good as like chumping. I wrote like a bunch of notes for this.
I like that.
Kind
I
of set
think
versus Jax.
Harsh Winds is very mulliganable, but it's pretty good in the matchup. Kind of does everything you want.
I think with Sett and Portal
Um,
Pioneer, I'm saying that like this will be if you do like a 4/3 Jax or something, this can block 4/3 Jax, and then this will help me out at some point on turns. Like this is just concussive palm, really.
yeah, I think the only thing you could argue for is just mulliganing for a ramp spell because that's
Hmm,
what you want to proactively do, and Harsh Winds is really a late game card. You're not
that's
super
fair.
interested in playing it early.
Yeah,
You'd much rather like Portal Pioneer into ramp into set than like have an awkward turn 4.
that's fair. No, that makes sense. Yeah. I just whenever I look at this card, I think it's concussive palm, and I always tell myself to keep keep concussive palm because that's what I learned about Ionia decks. Concussive palm's like the whole point. And so I saw this and was like, oh, it's concussive palm, but slightly different.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean it ends up being pretty good for you. You draw and play a lot of the stop and attack cards. And they
yeah.
wins you the game. So
I don't know if I want to keep Harsh Winds. I might keep Harsh Winds because it feels like it's kind of like Palm in this matchup, but slightly worse. I don't know if I'm keeping Sett. Sett seems like a worthwhile keep. I'll keep Sett. I don't know if I should keep Portal Pioneer. I'll keep Portal Pioneer. I'm not the best at this deck. I picked up all of these decks last night. So my knowledge on them is a little bit low. I presume I'm taking. Oh, I actually don't know what I'm taking from Portal Pioneer.
if I remember correctly, I kept an Omen
Blunder.
Hawk and a 1/2 Forge card.
Interesting. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Those are early units that are letting you do cool things. That shouldn't be too surprising.
Gets
Yeah,
rid of Burglar.
the small unit beatdown actually did a lot this game,
Mm.
if I remember correctly. It pushed like 15 of the damage I dealt. So
Yeah, there were like 3 or 4 units that were 2/2s that hit me for about 2 turns in a row.
Which is cute, but also removing equipment seems useful. I think I'm gonna make one say equipment and the other one say keywords, but I'm uncertain as to what is the best.
Do you have any thoughts on Portal Pioneer?
sure they're both supposed to say equipment.
Really?
Um, yeah, because I think your biggest threat is Jax, and Jax himself says it, but so does his equipment. So um,
Hmm.
the only thing that you really want to remove keywords from is Glacial Saurian.
Yeah.
Every other card in my deck doesn't inherently have equipment. And I'm very interested in like buffing my equipment, leveling my Jax, these kind of things. So
That makes sense. I think the logic I take for the Explorer's Blunder is literally because you have Saurian. I didn't want you to put like a can't block weapon on Saurian. And me want to play like something with a focus speed and something else on the stack. But I think that makes sense to take both equipment removal.
I think you end up changing your mind and taking a second equipment removal,
No,
unless I'm remembering a different game.
you're definitely
Okay.
remembering a different game because I remember getting rid of Overwhelm on Saurian and then killing it anyway with Sett. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, I do remember that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's 2-3.
I do wish. I
Was
think
great this game.
It was so
Donut
good.
Silver
Some
won with most
serious
hands. The fact that
beatdown.
there was a hand that I could have beat makes me very interested. Combat Reel? I can chump Combat Reel. That's okay by me. Here's Portal Pioneer. I presume disabling keywords. Actually, is destroying another equipment just better than disabling keywords? Like, the only keywords I want to disable that aren't tied to equipment are, like, Sorry and Overwhelm, and, like, maybe Jax Overwhelm. Is that enough? That's probably enough to justify Explorer's Blunder. We probably do Winter's Touch into Sett. Oh, interesting.
I really like that Forge buff.
Yeah, no, that
Um,
was really good. I was not expecting it, and it is really, really good. Because I don't have any 2/2s in my deck, right? Like the only card that trades positively into that is like Mixologist. Or Sett
Yeah.
or Karma or whatever.
And from my perspective, you have 2 landmark destructions in your hand, so
Weapon.
forging a weapon is actively bad. It's
Mm.
better to forge a unit without a weapon.
Mm.
The issue I've got with Sett is if they have fish fight, Sett just dies. Like if I do Winter's Touch into Sett, Sett is just boned. Should we not? Should we instead conk?
Right.
You decide to ramp
just
here,
conk
if I
them fast?
remember
Is that better?
correctly.
I do decide to ramp, but I do think that doing Concussive Palm before playing this unit was better. Because I'm not doing ramp into Sett. I have to pass on my next turn if I'm doing ramp.
Yeah.
And at least doing this, like, sets up this unit so we can trade into one of these, which will stop damage over time. And I don't need this 1/1 on the field right now. Like, if I do conk this turn and then either do this, I do this or this next turn, I feel like is much better. And it also, doing conk, like, prevents the Jax level up, which is minor but relevant. And prevents some mana, technically.
Yeah, I think I think I prefer your play. I think just getting the mana every turn
Interesting. Okay.
is pretty valuable. Like, it'll take a little bit to show its worth, but
Right. I've barely played this deck, so I don't know how to value ramp, and I've also not played FTR, so I really don't know how to value ramp.
yeah, I think we should like come back to it on turn 6 or 7 and see how you feel about just being up a bunch of mana.
Okay, that's fair.
If we were supposed to do that, we're supposed to do it before combat to prevent the Jax level up.
Because you're right that it doesn't like immediately
have
benefit
time
you,
for
but you're not
Mm.
I don't know
taking
what I'm doing
a
now,
ton of
okay.
damage right now. So
Alright.
I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna play Winter's Touch, but I'm not gonna play Sett immediately.
Next turn I
I'm not
definitely
letting myself
misplay.
be fish fly.
Pretty sure I'm supposed to do malfunction on the
I'm just
guy.
passing.
After you play
Uh,
the 2/1, the 1/2.
Apprentice still lets them fish fight. I'm passing.
the destroy a weapon on my
Yeah.
5/2.
I think this is what I wanted to do in this position. I think this would have been slightly better.
Don't I play a better weapon for you to destroy here?
I think so, but not this turn. And I'm wasting like mana, and my next turn's a little bit awkward. Like I think I'm doing this and this, but you can
Oh,
go
okay.
quite wide.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I develop, you get to play a Sett. So I'm probably supposed to take this pass. I hope I do.
You do take the
And
pass.
again, they're not gonna. Yeah.
That's good.
Weapons with Apprentice was the best
Good
way
job.
to play that. I can Sett
Job past me.
followed by a tag out or a conk.
That was important.
I think I'm pre-committing conk right now.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. I think in the moment I wanted to put both of these on the stack, but in retrospect, I feel like playing this card is better. Because you do Challenger on this guy, which lets me play Sett.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I don't currently have a fish fight. It's possible I'm just supposed to rep it this turn, but I was very interested in cycling a challenger. I think I have 2 challengers and like a 3 sisters and a sky splitter in my hand right now. So
Right,
I'm
okay.
very interested in cycling and finding more units to play.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. All right. Because when you do Challenger, I see this as like the biggest opening ever.
I should have put both of those on the stack.
Mhm.
That's my bad.
I think with 2
Man, I am
sets,
not
you're
playing one.
probably allowed to just play one into fish fight and then play the other. If you have to.
Maybe. I mean, 2 fish fights. Like you can do a sideways trade with this guy. Like you don't have to actually weapon him. And I
Yeah,
think
but
like,
I only have 2 fish fights in my deck.
are you still? Are
so-
you only on 2? I thought you were on 3.
No, I'm on 2 fish fight, 3 challenge. This deck.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I'm definitely too scared to do a play like that. I would still be thinking that 2 fish fights is very much in your repertoire. But I can see why.
Okay.
I mean, I guess even still, like the second fish fight is hitting a tag out, right? Because I'll have 7 mana at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see it. I definitely played this deck maybe too control-y. No, that makes sense. All right,
It really should
interesting.
have malfunctioned Mr. Caster. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I think I'm just supposed to keep Portal Pioneer. It means I can also play Sett for free, right? Because they only have 2 mana. What are they going to do? Nothing. Yeah. I'm going to pass, I'm going to play Sett. I'm going to pull...
Yeah, so
Might
far
pull
the
nothing.
tiny units have hit you for 10 damage.
They're very good.
I might just keep Sett around.
They're the thing that makes the game close. Like, normally I'd have to find
What am I missing? Uh-oh. He's thinking a lot. Uh-oh.
Jax to make these games close. Like, if I play a 4-3 Jax early game, that's how I'm actually supposed to win the matchup. So,
What were you
at
thinking
this
at this
point, I'm just
position?
like very unfavored.
Were you thinking like equip? What was going on through your mind?
Yeah, I was thinking about, I think, equipping and just what my next turn looks like. I think I have a Jax and the 3-drop Attune Weapon Master, maybe. I'm just
Okay.
trying to look through my next turns and figure out what I'm trying to do with my mana and equipment.
Okay,
But,
pass. I'm going to
I'm
pass
assuming that you have 2 weapon destructions in your hand, so that makes it pretty awesome. So ideally I get to set up like a Jax level, but I
There's
really
a
need
chance I'm just going to explore his blunder.
Jax at the very latest, like next turn. But if I can level it on 5 in the matchup, that's huge, because I think Ornn is a very good card in the matchup, even though it gets tagged out and bounced and stuff. You just need to force through those often and like have a leveled Ornn. It's not worth trying to force through the bounces if your Ornn gets just frozen or tagged out. But if he's leveled and you get to play him like on your opponent's token, you get to set up a good open.
Yeah.
And the fact that I don't get to do that this game is really tough.
The Saurian. The only reason not to do that is that like if they do a fish fight from Saurian, I feel like what I would want to have done is tagged out.
I was thinking about taking this pass, but it's really bad for me, I think, if I do.
It is. I mean, just the fact that I can do harsh winds whenever I want means that like every pass that you take is like majorly beneficial for me. Like 3 damage next turn is perfectly redeemable for me. If that was your open. And if it's your develop, I've got like, this is development punisher. You really can't pass here.
But maybe that's not the case. Maybe giving them the draw would be like a bad line. Okay, they play combat cook. They take a rake.
Oh, I remember this
Hawk
turn.
would have been so nice, yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
end
probably
up
just supposed to
playing
take out
a 4-3 Jax after this, right?
Yeah.
But I can't set up to level him.
Yeah. From memory, I sort of forget this card's in my hand. I really should have just done this like right now and done it on this guy. Because from memory, I just challenged this thinking I may as well challenge something since you've tapped out. Or tapped out, in quotes.
Yeah, I've spent enough mana that you have to play your turn.
5 and leave it at that. The 2-3 and leave it at that. I'm not killing anything that they're placing down. Next turn I'm trying to probably harsh winds. Probably conk and harsh winds next turn. Oh, not conk. Tag out and harsh winds. If they attack with combat cook, I'm probably blocking and then just doing Sett Spacebreaker. Let's kill this unit. I could
I
explore
think if you
Malcolm.
destroy my
Maybe that was
scout
better.
and I equip my reptile, it's actually pretty reasonable for me because you have this blunder instead of another weapon destruction. Being able to come in for 8 next turn is really valuable.
Yeah, but like I'm exceedingly happy if I get to play this next turn on something like this and this. Right? If your attack is rather minor.
Yeah, I think you destroy the weapon and then challenge my scout, and then I play Jax, and I'm, from my perspective, coming in with 2 pretty big threats. They both get harsh winds, which sucks, but they don't die, so I can do it again.
Yeah, but I mean, doing it again is like turn 9. I know from your perspective that's like the best thing you can do. From my perspective, I'm still like very okay.
I would be very happy with that on my side, but Yeah, you have harsh winds. It's a pretty hard card to beat. So
Yeah. I mean, I've got Harsh and I've also got both of these. Like, even if you do have like a turn 9 that could threaten like needing 2 tag outs, I've got the 2 tag outs.
yeah, it's very hard to get
Hmm.
something done here.
I am not the best at this deck, if you cannot tell. If I do this and they fish fight, they can just do an equidistant fish fight from Saurian into me. Like just a side-by-side fish fight. In that instance, am I willing to harsh winds?
Well, if they do that, you just tag out the Saurian Spidz.
Like, I think they've got fish fight and they can just do regular fish fight. They don't need to do special fish fight.
If I remember correctly, I just don't have a fish fight, so
Yeah.
all of
I think I am willing to do equidistant fish fight.
double speed Spidz commentary.
I mean, it's not
That card I
irrelevant.
don't have.
Like, these are the thoughts you're supposed to have in the matchup, but
Yeah, you're supposed to worry about my fish fight, definitely. It's just
Yeah.
funny to.
Which meant I should have done this earlier.
But
They
I,
go to
I think
equidistant
fish
fight,
fight
yeah,
is
I think
pretty
I'm gonna do
bad to
equidistant.
draw multiple
Fair enough.
copies of now
Okay, is that equidistant fish
Mm.
fight?
after the nerf.
No.
That's why I only play 2.
Did you not have Jax yet?
I think I had Jax. I think I play my Jax here. I just was spending my mana most efficiently.
Okay, interesting.
On.
No.
I'm
What?
doing face
Oh no, I play Ornn. I'm pretty sure I do have Jax in my hand.
Are you
If I
sure not
remember
thinking about
correct.
next game?
Game. It's definitely possible in thinking about next game. I played a lot of Jax Ornn. It was the only deck I scrimmed today
Okay.
Mm.
because it was the deck I was least happy with. So.
Yeah.
Tag out or harsh winds? My instinct is tag out, but harsh winds does kill combat cook, so maybe that's better.
This is,
How far is he from flipping? Okay.
you were the
I haven't
only
been,
person I lost to, so
I'm glad to have that honor.
I'm gonna flip too aggressively.
and Scout still got its win. That was
I should
important
have harsh winds still a different
for my stats.
time. Can I spend 12 mana this turn? I could probably spend 12 mana this turn. And I think I should try to.
Yeah, right here I'm just trying to work out like the most efficient way of spending 12 mana in order to give me like a good position in future. And I think my understanding is that it's this card, this card, this card, and this card. Because that equals 12 exactly and lets me draw and do this, right? And I get to keep all of this for next turn. But if this was destroying equipment, that would have been a lot better. Right, because I silenced this guy.
Yeah, you silenced that. It's definitely does look better if you destroy my equipment.
Plus this guy gets 5 strength and gets to trade into this positively anyway.
If there's ever just like tag out my Ornn.
I could
this
tag
turn.
out your on, but like I didn't really see how that would help me out enough. Like I guess if you have fish fight plus sky splitter on flips.
Yeah, so what if you went like coin, place your bets, coin, tag out this turn as your 12?
Mm.
Then you still have like solid mana, and I guess I just don't redevelop my Ornn is probably your issue.
I mean, if
But-
you don't redevelop on, that's fine. I just like pass with Showstopper in hand, right?
Yeah.
Well, I attack this way and then I pass with Showstopper in hand.
Yeah, you're attacking like that, passing. I guess it's probably worse into the fish fight you're worried about.
Yeah.
Because you do have to give me an action.
Mm.
But that unit's not equipped, so the fish fight isn't. It's fish fight plus buff spell. That does anything. Right?
No, because I would have to be playing the second coin, right? I wouldn't be leveling up Sett yet. Because like with your
No,
line,
you play the second coin from place your bets. You coin place your bets coin.
oh, I do place
You
your
don't
bets
need-
before I do tag out. Okay, no, I concur. No, that'd work just fine.
Yeah, I'm not. It's hard to evaluate whether it's better. I think
Mm.
it's pretty reasonable. I tend to be unhappy anytime my Ornn gets recalled, not just while he's attacking.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I don't value enough just mana positive bounces. Just because I don't have like a lot of Ionia experience. It's not something that pops into my brain. But I do think that's a better line. I was just thinking like maintaining both of these will put me in the best position next turn, even if you develop like two, like a Saurian and a Jax. But
Yeah, I think that playing the tag out here it's bouncing my Ornn, which cost me 7 mana, and I can't replay it, so it's sort of costing me like 14 mana.
That's how math
Um,
works. Yeah, no, I get it.
So that does seem pretty good to me, but
Mm.
your line also wins, so
Yeah. No, I do think that's better. I'm glad that we're doing this because I think that's a very good. It's a much better line.
Place your bets. How do I do this if I want to do Winter's Touch? Place your bets. Let's do it with Explorer's Wonder, right? So place your bets, Winter's Touch, Explorer's Wonder, coin is probably enough.
I mean, it's the same thing. I'm seeing deterministic lethal, and I'm not thinking about other lanes. It's not the same thing, but it's very similar.
yeah, I mean, I think I actually do a pretty good job setting up like a win condition this game, but you end up drawing good cards.
Yeah.
So
Start with place your bets. I don't think I'm even up place your bets first.
I have to draw pretty well for my like hand to be having a chance. So.
Okay. I do have harsh ones as well.
But I think I replay Ornn and then I play Jax next turn, maybe. Maybe I just never
might
draw
unironically
Jax
pass
this
them, you know,
game
just
too.
going
Maybe
harsh
I'm
ones, tag out next turn.
remembering Grim.
That would be better.
Definitely possible. But
I'm gonna try it.
this Winter's Touch does feel like pretty wasteful.
Yeah.
You're just spending
This
mana
is the
to
safer
spend
line. This
it,
is the line
which
that
is
Yeah.
fine.
I'm more used to. I feel like there was probably a line.
That was definitely not. Yeah, like
should
re-seeing this
also-
turn as a tag out turn is way better.
I think you should be attacking probably first. Like if you're worried about fish fight and have been playing around it all game, I think open attacking into my Saurian makes sense because I can't interact with your pile driver showstopper, but I can interact with your Sett if I have that fish fight.
My thinking was that I'd rather have Sett on my side to prevent you from developing something like a Jax, while I really wanted to show stop on.
Okay.
For like weapon
Yeah, so you
reasons
just
and
go for
on
passive.
reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. The weapon on Ornn is not very threatening. It's a 2-mana 2/1.
Yeah, but value. It's like it's very clearly worth it for the value of killing 2 things with the obliterate card.
Oh, true. You're right.
And we're
Even
doing
killing a
unit
third thing in my 2/1. It's broke.
armor, like next turn.
And it's Legion
I'm
Saboteur.
gonna do this.
That's like 10 different tiny things that it does. That's so much value.
Yeah.
Oh, I think at this point I'm considering whether I'm supposed to try to rope you out. But
Really?
I don't think there's enough time.
Oh my
Yeah, I'm
God.
4 minutes ahead on clock, like, and it's gonna take you a while to kill me. Like, if I just rope out my actions, like next game I can win
Unless she has the overwhelm weapon, in which I'm just gonna challenge.
in time potentially. But then I'm like, Ashe LeBlanc is gonna beat me to death. There's no way I take it to time. It doesn't matter. So, but for a solid 3 or 4 actions, I'm playing slow to think about whether I want
By
to
having harsh winds and tag out, like I'm in the comfiest of all positions.
spend a lot of time
And the
this
next turn
game.
is just karma place.
Alright.
Luckily, the rest of my team O2'd this match, so
Donut's playing
it didn't
quite well,
matter
but
whether
it
I
should not be.
roped you, which is
Mm.
good
I am
because
too
I didn't care to try.
Mhm.
I just don't think you had Jax.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's very hard to win this matchup if I don't have Jax.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, this was the
Okay,
turn I
and
was
then
pretty
maybe
happy
let's
with.
do,
I
like,
have the 3 sisters in my hand, so
Hmm.
coming in for 2
Yeah,
4
whatever,
power
like-
units means
What am I missing?
I
Is there
can
ever a
kill
way in
you
which I don't-
through like
Let me answer
a
this.
palm.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, they're gonna do.
and then you harsh winds
And then we're gonna.
in my head wrong. And I'm like, oh, maybe I get
They
there.
can't beat,
But
right? I'm just checking the deck list.
I also know that you probably wouldn't harsh winds incorrectly. Kind of like how you knew that I probably wouldn't lose the game.
We could
to
get a set spell
Yeah.
by doing this.
a card I shouldn't be losing to. So
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
this should be game.
I was like, I gotta
In
play
theory,
it,
they've got
but it
fish
never
fight.
works. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't worry. Look, this should be a guaranteed. Karma, I'm expecting him to concede because I know Donut decently well, and I think he's the kind of guy that would want to concede at this point.
I think I got this wrong
Maybe
as
I don't
well.
know
I don't think
Maybe
you
I know Donut really
concede.
badly. Maybe Donut won't concede.
I was like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah, I
Donut's
don't
gonna
concede.
concede. He's a concedey guy, and he doesn't.
Yeah. Well, you need to at least show me your second place your bets. Like, I can't just concede here. I think I have another Ornn in my hand. So,
Hmm.
Yeah, okay, well, let's do this.
you know, if you have one of those, like, 1 in 100 bricked karma hands, then you need to play it out. But because there was also if you're attacking wrong and you don't challenge my
Just thinking
Ornn
about
with
Reddit yelling
your
at me saying turn on spectate.
uh,
Maybe I should, because I'm supposed to turn on spectate
Sett.
just in case they want to show me. Okay,
Hmm.
let's do this.
um,
I don't think this is the right play, just in case they've got Ornn or something, but I don't feel concerned.
yeah, if you don't challenge my Ornn
Set
with
up
your
the
Sett, I think he levels, and then I have an out.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
see if I
Maybe
can
he
get lethal
doesn't
this
even
turn, if
level.
relatively possible with place your bets instead.
I don't. A lot of the set stuff I
Just
don't remember. I know like
maybe.
set into barnacles gets a coin, but I don't know if Ornn is struck for or if Ornn is struck for, it should probably level up. I think.
I think it shouldn't level up because Sett doesn't take damage or die, so he didn't deal 8.
Okay, you might be right there.
Like,
Yes,
I
place your
imagine
bets.
Ornn wouldn't level if you hit a barrier, which is
Hmm.
sort of what Sett's
I mean, he
doing.
doesn't level if you're hitting a tough unit. I know that much. So yeah, you should be right then.
Oh, wild mysticism, yeah, okay, I've got lethal. Okay,
Yeah, I get place your bets into
Coin.
place your bets off karma.
wild mysticism.
Very, very cool. Yeah, at this point it's very over.
Ornn.
Hmm.
Okay.
But I think
This is
I'm
very
not
lethal,
dead
right?
here
I can
yet,
just quickly hit them up with one of these.
so I make you play the card and then now I'm dead.
Yeah.
Is Donut thinking that I want him to continue playing so that YouTube videos are longer? I don't know why Donut is still continually playing. Okay. Well,
I was there because, like, if you play poorly, which you won't,
Yeah.
I can win. So
No, it's fair. No,
that's
you're supposed
why
to
I
play
was
through.
playing it out, you know.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, because
I'm
if my
switching
Ornn
over
gets
to
to
a
block
fusion
your
already.
6/6 and then attack, like,
Hmm.
maybe you just have
Set up the
nothing
Ashe
in your
LeBlanc.
10
Now,
card
I wrote
karma
some
hand.
notes for this matchup, so I'm gonna quickly
It's
check them out.
possible. Sure.
My notes were right. I want
Yeah.
early units, and I just
Now
want
I get to see
pressure them
the
aggressively. Yeah, I think I want LeBlanc.
It's
I don't really
engaging
think I care too
matchup
much about
that
anything
there
else. I
is.
just want LeBlanc. Other early units would be nice.
I think that. Sorry, let's quickly go back to the mulligan.
Units, and I just want to like pressure them aggressively.
I really like this mulligan. I feel like all you want are units, and your units are bigger than Jackson units. Like Jackson gets big units after turn 5, but Ashe LeBlanc gets big units from like turn 2 to turn 4.
I was actually somewhat surprised about this. I think
Really?
the way that I play against Ashe LeBlanc when I'm playing an unfavored matchup, which happens to me a lot, is maybe a third of my games, I just hope that they have no buff spells, and if they have no buff spells, I win the game.
Right.
It's like a very common play pattern of like, I mean, Ashe LeBlanc plays tons of buff spells, but
Mm.
it's also an almost unplayable matchup, and so you have to make like a very big
Mm.
call. Like you just have to, you know, if in poker terms, just like call all in and hope you hit on the river, right?
Right.
Like, and so you just have to play very risky, and one of the ways to play very risky is like losing 2 buff spells.
Interesting.
So I would maybe be interested in keeping at least one of these.
My feeling is that like if I have 7 cards in my hand, I'd rather have like 7 units than 1 unit and 6 spells. And so I decided to get rid of all my spells to try and get units. That's basically like a very hyperbolic way of saying why I got rid of everything. Because pretty much any
Yeah, I
unit
think
I prefer.
Ideally, you have a mix, obviously.
Well, yeah.
And I haven't played almost any Ashe LeBlanc, so it's possible that you just have so many tricks that you're never keeping them.
Mm.
But very commonly, my plan is to have my opponent not have a trick to
Yeah.
beat Ashe LeBlanc.
I'd be curious to see what Monty was saying, because Monty's played a lot more of this deck than I have. Like, I also picked it up yesterday. I don't really know what I'm doing with it. Like, I could see a world where it's LeBlanc and Sky Splitter, kick everything else, try and find Ashe and Challenger Lady and Omen Hawk and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think even Elixir might just be keepable depending on what you're interested in finding.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I want LeBlanc. I don't really think I care too much about anything else. I just want LeBlanc. Other early units would be nice. Okay. I think this is slightly worse than what I had before, but I wanted the chance of
This
finding
flash
things
freeze
that
is
are
pretty brutal this game.
This matchup I'm a little
It's
bit
your
scared at.
one-off.
I do really wish I didn't punt away the scouts game. But okay. See what happens. Donut could win. win this if he has like a really good early unit hand.
I know I'm pretty
or
happy
he has,
when
like-
you tap under. I think you have 3 harsh winds and 1 flash freeze.
Yeah,
Maybe it was the 3 harsh winds.
it's too
and
harsh. One
Karma.
flash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karma
He
had
managed
3.
to get under me with like entrancing
Um,
lure in a situation where entrancing lure will get me. Glory
There's
Seeker.
a spot
I love
where
you. Thank you so much.
Your LeBlanc is almost certainly dead. Only flash freeze stops it, and then I
Hmm.
get flash freeze.
I'm in Hawk. I'm just gonna play Trifarian Glory Seeker. Then I'm gonna play LeBlanc. Now, if they play Castaway, I'm pogging. I'm just gonna pull Castaway with this unit and be okay. If they don't play Castaway, I'm just gonna LeBlanc. Like, LeBlanc will just be good enough. Like, I'm happy enough with this no matter what. Next turn's probably a pass. Oh. Actually, if they play Castaway, I don't care, right? Because they can't fish fight from Castaway. If I do this and they have double Sky Splitter, that'd be funny. But I would just play Bullet Iron. Yeah, okay, good. So they probably have Castaway. They're probably doing something with Castaway here. But I do think attacking with LeBlanc is pretty much worth it.
I
They
quite
develop
like
a
the attack. I don't think like pulling the castaway is like worth open passing.
Yeah, that's why I passed to you. Is I think you just have to
Yeah.
attack there. It's
It's too good.
too much value to not.
Yeah.
Doing Archer into just Halfguard.
Because you are just
Not
playing a
really benefit.
beatdown deck and killing me.
Basically.
If you don't do that, I get to eventually do something with Ornn, potentially.
Mm.
Sort of like Aatrox, where a lot of what Aatrox is trying to do is just like slow you down enough that it can slam Darkens.
Yeah.
Future
Um,
turns, but also developing units as blockers. If they open, I
and
probably
obviously,
just
like
take damage.
usually it can't. That's why it's a bad matchup. But
Sometimes
You
it
can't-
can. Yeah.
yeah, you can't willingly slow yourself down in case I
could freeze
develop
block.
a
I don't think
bad
it's a
unit.
play, but I'm probably
Like
taking the damage. Brittle. Never mind. I'm brittle stealing.
I don't know.
Combat Cook means I'm just going to play Ice Veil Archer into Halfguard. I think I don't need to play Ice Veil Archer. I could keep Ice Veil Archer for later. Especially since they don't have enough mana for anything. I could see a world where I'm playing Bloody Business. Upcycle again. Okay. Look, half of me wants to play Archer because I feel like it's the right
Here,
play.
I
Half of me
think
wants to
the
pass.
other
because I feel like it's
option
the right
was
play.
spell mana, which is interesting. But Scout with Sky Splitter is very powerful into your board, and I thought it was like
Yeah.
a real way to win the game. So,
Yeah. No, I think I prefer Scout from your side. I think like that's more likely to accept your win gun. Just hope that you can
Yeah, if you
pummel down into me.
just don't have an answer, or like even if you're
Mm.
just forced to harsh winds here, I think I'm
Mm.
fine. But
Yeah.
the flash freeze is pretty brutal.
I feel like I want to develop a unit now because I don't know when I'm going to be able to develop units in future, and I will want to be blocking with units at some point. But I can't tell if Ice Veil Archer is too useful of like a strategy point for me. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. My instinct is to Ice Veil Archer, so I am going to follow my instincts. But Ice Veil Archer, which unit? I'll Ice Veil Archer this. If they attack with the guy, I can just 3 Sisters block.
That's kind of evil. Like I know you're scared of flash freeze, and I'm like, haha, they're gonna play into flash freeze, and I'm gonna get him.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I'm
mean
pretty
that's
sure
the
that's
mat.
the
Like, it is a very telegraphed play. You should
Mm.
freeze my bigger unit, and then let me attack with my unit that
Okay, that's fine by me.
can't attack into the 3/1.
Mm.
But
Sure.
at the same time, I feel like what am I gonna do? Play around cards in this matchup? Like
Oh,
Yeah.
Ashe. So like they could
get
do,
flash freeze
like, Sky
later
Splitter
and still
fish.
lose.
Mm.
So
From memory, I decided to freeze this guy just to like if I freeze this guy, I think you're allowed to attack with this guy, and I would have rather put damage on this guy than this guy. I think. Sorry, this guy than this guy. But maybe I'm supposed to flash
so
freeze
you
this
just
guy.
trade with my 5/3 if I
Yeah.
with your 3/1, right? That's why it's like it's kind of telegraphed that you're flash freezing, but I have to make the attack. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't not attack with my scout unit and let you hold flash freeze forever. Be
Mm.
good later.
If they want to.
Um,
But they would have to choose which
Here
unit to
I'm-
pick, and it'd probably just be Ashe. And I,
I
feel
get
like
a
even
little
if they do that,
unlucky.
that's 2 resources that they're
Um,
using that I'm okay with them using.
I needed to hit an improvised weapon that has
Had I had Ashe,
health
though, I probably wouldn't
and
have
can
frostbite
block,
instead of frostbite
and I
because
hit
I'm
can't
not using
block
frostbite.
and overwhelm.
Now they're going to do
So
fish fight. They're probably thinking that they should
Yeah.
pre-commit.
I think I have 2 hits that are good,
pre-commit
maybe.
Sky's
It's a Pot of Pain and Spell Mana.
Mm.
I've already hit Fearsome, so
I'm back.
there's
Yeah,
like both quick attack and overwhelm and can't block are misses.
Yeah.
There's one I'm missing, right?
Uh,
Which one?
impact, which is
No,
a
that's
positive
pot
for
of
you.
pain.
Ah,
I'm missing tough. Tough also doesn't work.
right, that's the one I thought you were talking about. My bad. Yeah.
Pan of pain.
I'm sorry I got my
If-
weapon master equipments wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
So I really needed a unit that could block Ashe
Mm.
and not get frozen.
Right, yeah, because this is 6 strength. So if you take anything else, this would still have 5. Yeah, okay.
Do it like. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, that was the
You should
thought.
attack first, so the level up happens, and we do this, and we do this. I feel like the
I
one
messaged
weapon-
you a little
we have
bit
to choose which
after the
weapon
game
to
about
do,
it, and I
basically.
think
Oh no, we do this because it's the free one.
it's much closer if I get to actually trade with Ashe instead of
No, it is.
losing my 4-drop for 1 mana.
I
but
mean,
it's
you
not bad.
can pre-commit Sky Splitter, but that doesn't feel great, right?
Yeah, I don't think that that's a very like realistic plan to win. Like, it's much better at least if I just don't have to.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
If I just have a unit that can trade, that's great.
yeah.
I could pre-commit Sky Splitter, yeah.
I mean, pre-committing Sky Splitters doesn't give you like winning lines anyway, because I'm playing this or this next turn, and I've still got this up. Like, you can't. I don't think you can justify pre-committing Sky Splitter. You just have to hope I don't have it. I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Do
just
this.
hope you don't have
I guess
it
I could
when you
recommend
play
that
against Ashe LeBlanc on a mid-range deck.
I'm
Like,
expecting Sky Splitter. Trying to kill
if
me.
you're gonna win,
I
they're
don't
gonna
think
not
overly
have it
aggressive,
at
but
some
there's a problem
point, and so almost every time you just hope that they don't have it. Especially mid-range decks that have like a very bad matchup into Ashe LeBlanc, or like when you've already played like LeBlanc and Ashe, it's like, okay, you have a very strong draw. I probably can't beat any cards from this point on.
Mm.
If you are playing like a little bit behind tempo, like maybe you don't have a 5-power unit until Ashe, like maybe now I can start thinking about beating one spell from you.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty cursed matchup. So
Yeah.
To keep Ashe and attack with LeBlanc. But I also feel like I'm clogging out either way. Like, I'm in such a dominating position that the more that I dominate, like, I will just win. Like, just continue to dominate. The more passive I am, the higher chance that I have to not draw reactive freezes and for them to beat me, right? For them to beat me with some sort of big Saurian or something. But anyway, we'll do Assessor, we have Bloody Business up, and then we'll win the video game. Pioneer.
Oh, this Pioneer ended up being really interesting.
Here's
I think I
Assessor.
misplay a fair bit into it.
most good.
Break.
Just have so much happening on your side.
I don't really
And again,
mind.
I have to assume you have nothing, so
Mm.
I pull the 3-1,
Ashe is a little.
planning on pulling the Ashe.
Yeah.
But I think I have Sky Splitter if I remember correctly, but
Hmm.
I have to play Jax and try to kill you so that I have a way to win the game eventually.
Yeah.
The general plan is like I think I play Jax here, and then if I live to my next turn, which I won't most likely, I kill you with Ornn, and that's
Hmm.
like a thing that could actually happen.
Yeah.
Whereas if I don't like play Jax and I just kill your Ashe, it's like, okay, you're gonna play units that are bigger and better than mine every turn until I lose. So
Hmm.
getting the Ornn level is very important, I think.
So Ashe will level next turn. Which is cute. Let me pass.
I do think these games are a lot more interesting from your perspective. I just sit back and freeze your
Yeah,
stuff, and you have to play around or
There we
not
go.
play around a bunch of things.
Feeling pretty fine. Well, Jax
Yeah,
level.
well,
attacks. Yeah.
Kind of like I was saying, it sounds more interesting than it is because I'm often just like, well, I can't beat any cards, so
Hmm.
I'm just gonna do the best thing I can this turn.
Yeah. I think in this action, I'm supposed to do what I end up doing during combat, which is this.
Yeah, I think my Jax probably can't level then, and I just
Yeah.
lose. So that would be good.
Yeah. In my head, I didn't really know what I was doing. I felt so relaxed that I wasn't necessarily thinking of how to make like the most marginal upgrades in victory. Which is like
Yeah.
very lazy. I should not be doing this, but because I end up doing this in combat, I may as well just do it now.
Are we pre-committing?
I think that if I top deck Jax spell, it potentially punishes you.
Maybe, but I'm also like always developing, right? So it doesn't really matter. Like my lethal's just getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Yeah, I think you're challenging my Jax with your 5-1 though, and so barrier on him is like pretty strong. It saves him and kills your 5-1 for threatens too.
I think it's hard for me not to have lethal after doing this on this though.
Well, you
Like
don't do
extreme.
that. So
Do I not? Oh, okay, that's crazy.
no, you do it on the 5-1.
Oh, because I wanted to play around I think it was like a Entomb. I wanted to play around
Three
Entomb.
sisters. Or,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Bloody business there? Probably not. I'm probably just taking the damage. They're only on one Elixir of Iron, I'm pretty sure, and they literally played it early. Yeah, they played their Elixir of Iron earlier. They're just on one. Which means that we don't have to use Sky Splitter, we can actually use LeBlanc spell. We are allowed to just do this. Interesting. Okay.
I take 4
Yeah,
less
being able to
damage if
adjust
I
the
do
defense
this
is
before
just
combat. That's kind of
Or
funny.
even done a Sky Splitter to just kill the Pioneer.
Yeah.
They're only on one Elixir of Iron, right?
I might not even be allowed to
Relatively
attack.
heavy
No, I have to attack. Like I
Hmm.
said, I can't beat. Elixir of Iron, so. But my Ornn also just isn't leveled, and that means I never can like cope on finding a way to win.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
I'm gonna start by copying Glory Seeker. So my thinking is that like the way in which if they like entomb Ashe is like the only way they're not dying right now. So let's just copy this and force them to do extra stuff. That's my thinking, right? The only way they win is if they entomb Ashe. Because Ashe is leveling on this attack. Omen Hawk. Alright, here's Trifarium.
I like this Omen Hawk play
Maybe I
a
shouldn't
lot.
have played Trifarium because it tells them I don't have their...
If I play anything else, it just gets eaten. But I'm
Yeah.
fine. Just challenge the Omen Hawks. But then you keep developing, and my life sucks. So
Yeah. I mean, every unit I develop is like threatening another avenue for lethal, and any like eating your units is the same thing as preventing you from killing me, right? And if you entomb, then I'm also just winning the game anyway because you're out of mana. I'm just taxing you constantly.
is this attack threatening? This attack is just lethal.
Yeah.
So I have to do something.
Yeah.
But I did have like a 3-drop Weapon Master, the heal Weapon Master I could have played.
Mm.
The rally card. Well, it's not leveled, right?
Which, I mean, I wouldn't have died the way I did when I fish fought, but
Now if they fish fight, they can't entomb.
I play Ornn next turn. I don't know, maybe I had an out? Doesn't
Business.
seem super realistic.
Cool. And
Uh,
this should be like mega lethal.
And you're still holding up like Ashe spell or a ton of different things that just kill me
Yeah.
anyways. So it's hard for me to make that call to not fish fight your Ashe because I'm in a much more realistically winning position if that goes through than if I just play a unit. But
Yeah.
now I'm just dead on board. So
You start. And then it goes like this.
but yeah, it is interesting from my side that like
Sides.
maybe I can win.
we pull you to the
And
side? We
maybe
just,
it
like,
plays out better
Don't
if
have to block, right? Yeah, we pull you to the side, but not the other one.
I don't go for the fish fight. I think probably what actually happens is you
That should
just
be like mega
are
lethal.
forced to play the strike spell as a development, and I lose anyways.
Yeah. No, that was definitely my plan if you tapped very low.
Yeah.
And that would have just been lethal anyway.
Should
Or
be
destroying everything.
Super mega pogging. Alright, good game, Donut. This was very unfavored. We sort of built our lineup partly with your team in mind. So, I hope you enjoyed. I did hit record, right? Let's go. I actually hit record. Alright, hopefully I can get him on for a VOD review. But I don't even know if these games are interesting enough to VOD review. I'm really
I really hope I can get Donut on for a VOD review. That'd be cool. I'd enjoy
Yeah,
that.
that would be pretty cool. Yeah,
Alright.
I had the choice between you and Panda, and I think you're both equally great players, but I got to be on Spidz YouTube, which is huge upside compared to
Yeah.
the other pick I could have made. So
Yeah. I don't think I've got enough time to go through the Monty game. I've got stuff to do after this. But thanks for joining me.
sure.
I'm really glad I had you on because I don't think my perspective is necessarily too interesting. And hearing you talk about scouts and like how to play into Frostbite as Jack's on is like way more interesting.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on. I love VOD reviews. I love Spidz YouTube. Best LOR YouTuber there is.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully I'll be on next time. Just pick yourself into me. That'll be the secret, right?
I mean, your first pick, right? You pick you into me.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Unless you do something else, then I get to pick into you afterwards. We'll see what the lineup ends up
Yeah.
being. Anyway, thanks for being on.
Yeah. Talk to you later. Bye.
See ya.